Good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.
Wherever you are in the world, my name is Steve.
And I'm Kass, and I'm just making sure that this is recording. Yep.
Because from now on, you can not only hear us, but you can see us on our YouTube channel. So
That's
if you
right.
want to know, how do they do that? How are they sitting there? How are they dressed? What do they look like? Go to our YouTube channel and you can see our video of this podcast recording.
So right now we are actually in cold, crisp Canada.
It's as cold as this crisp. Get ready. Oh, fantastic.
It's such a good sound.
Best sound ever. And we're looking outside the window and we see snow. It is, what date are we? We're like mid-October and it's snowing here. Yep. So it's kind of cool.
Utah has a very, I think, similar climate, but less cold. Maybe less extreme. So we'll have days in, like,
or
for
shorter
Halloween.
Winter, extreme as well, but shorter. Here
but
it's
like for Halloween, we never know if there's going to be snow or not.
Yeah.
It's always a toss-up. The kids are always looking at their Halloween costumes like, okay, now if it's snowing, how do I make this warm?
Yeah. No, in Belgium, we have maximum a couple of days of snow, and we have years where we had no snow.
Yeah.
The thing where we have is people are hoping one day to have a white Christmas. Because we had it maybe 10, 15 years ago, and a white Christmas is something very special for us. We never have that.
There's many mornings we wake up and there was no snow on Christmas Eve and it's a white Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
You just look out and it's all cozy. Yeah, it's such a good feeling. It gets me excited about Christmas.
Yeah, that's in a couple of months, so I'm excited. Anyway, today our subject, we have so many subjects that we want to share with you guys, but first of all, something super exciting is coming up. If you hear this podcast in a year, it might already be in the middle of our project, but for the people who listen to it every single week, we got exciting news, and you're going to be one of the first that we'll let you know. But one of the things that we've been talking about, because we are, I can't say anything. I mean, we've been together working on a lot of stuff, and a lot of extra subjects came up.
I think what we're doing is, what's great is this whole process has been obviously like a learning process, but just like in life, all of a sudden you get in your little comfort zone and then you realize like it's time to expand. It's time to raise the bar on yourself and your expectations. So that's what we've been doing, and our brains have been a little bit maxed, and it's actually a really cool feeling. And what we're creating is things that'll be easier, accessible to everybody, and so we're super excited about it.
I cannot wait. It's going to be fantastic. So today, one of the things we were talking about is the perspective that we have during our life.
Yep.
I mean, I see people sometimes they say, well, they're naturally positive or naturally more negative. It's all about perspective because we had a very... How do we call this podcast? It's...
perspective is reality. Your perception is your reality.
Yeah. Or perspective versus reality. Because we were thinking, just imagine this. You have a regular day. In the morning you wake up, you know the movie Groundhog Day? Groundhog Day. I mean, I realize how bad my English is getting. I don't know. Or maybe, you know what could happen?
I think what you're doing is actually your English is getting better, so you're picking up other words and you're just not.
I think I came to a new level of
new words.
Yeah, new words and understanding more, that it opens up this new level of vocabulary.
Yeah.
Which I go like, wait a minute.
I can say that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I promise to say, if I don't understand it, I will ask so I can learn it. Otherwise, you keep thinking, okay, it's just a word and I'll never repeat it. But looks like English is going to be a language I'm going to be repeating a lot.
Yeah, you're stuck with it.
So, Groundhog Day.
Yep.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
So in the morning you wake up, you have a fantastic regular day, and we ask you from the morning to the evening to only focus on the fantastic things that happen. No matter what happens. If something goes wrong, don't focus on it. Only look at the things that are fantastic, because somebody might hold the door open for you, but if you're in a bad mood, you don't really see
Yeah,
it.
you don't really care.
Or you
You're
think
not
it's just
noticing
normal. If you're happy, you go, oh, well, thank you. Completely different. Same action,
Yep.
but a different feeling. You look at how you feel at the end of the day. You feel fantastic, what you accomplished, stuff like that. And then what if we could rewind that whole day? You start the same day, same things will happen. Nothing better, nothing worse, but you only focus on the things that are going wrong.
Yep.
At the end of the day, they say, how was your day? What did you accomplish? Your perspective is completely different. One day has been fantastic. You've been doing amazing things, and you start to believe that more, which will build up for the next days and next days. And a month later, you will see completely different results. Comparing to the person that say, okay, I look at the same day, but only at the negative things, nothing will get accomplished.
So there's another movie that I think is one of the most beautiful movies ever, and it's called About Time. And it's a family, and tell us if you've seen this movie, and if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. So it's about this family who, the men, when they get to a certain age, have the ability to time travel. And I think they can only go back in time.
Okay.
And so what they would do is, like, when you first get this gift, or you're first realizing this gift, anytime you go into a closed, dark space, you can go back in time. You just picture being there, and you can go back there. So when anything would go, like, catastrophic, like, one of the things was he was, like, having a first kiss with this girl, and it went terrible. So he, like, ran away, went to a closet, went back, and had a do-over. But as the movie progresses, what he started to do was repeat the same day twice. And what he would do is mentally prepare himself. Like, as he was coming in the door from work, you know, the daughter comes up and she's screaming and she's got her hands full of everything, and it just gets all over his nice suit, and he kind of snaps at her. And the next time he has that same day, he does it over, he's already preparing for that. Oh my goodness, I get to see my cute girl, and even though she's in this bad mood and covered in junk, I can pick her up, I can sweep her up and fix that problem real fast. And he started to change the way that he looked at these tiny little things that when you add up, they can feel very heavy. But if you sort of just pick them out one by one, it's not overwhelming.
No.
And there's so many things in every single day that you have the option of just choosing. Is this going to affect me negatively, or am I going to move past this?
Yeah. We always have that choice.
Yep.
When something happens, you can just say, okay, perfect. This is a roadblock that I cannot move.
Yep.
So how do I get around it? In traffic, it's the same thing. You got to go to your destination. There's a traffic jam. You're not going to say, oh, red light. Okay, let me turn back and go home.
Yeah.
No, these are things that we deal with. If you could go back, if you would have that, if you could go back in time and you can pick one moment in your life that you go back and you can fix it.
So Bridget asked me this very same question, like,
Really?
what are my biggest regrets?
Yeah.
And I can say that one of my biggest regrets was in high school. I was on the dance team, and I was also on a competition team, both through the high school. And neither of them were really, like, I wasn't a great dancer, but it was fun, and, you know, it's just a high school team. Anyway, my senior year, I was talking to the advisor, the director of the dance team. Or it was before my senior year, and she was asking me, we were talking about the next year's competition team. And I was very sassy, had kind of issues with authority, and was really just going through some sad things in high school.
Yeah.
And so she and I didn't have a great relationship because I kind of back-talked her and just gave her a bad attitude. I had a bad attitude. And she looked at me and she's like, you want to do the team again? Just kind of like, you act like you don't like it. You're going to do the team again?
Yeah.
And I basically didn't do the team because of that one sentence. I felt like she didn't want me on the team.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like
really?
you're going to do the team again?
Yeah.
And it made me realize that I hadn't been a great participant, and I was a little bit ashamed of that. embarrassed of that.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
my
so it was
God.
kind of this like life lesson of, oh my gosh, she doesn't even want me on the team, which is fine because I think I deserved it. And it was that
Yeah.
understanding of like, I'm not the person that she even wants to be on the team.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do it. And I said, oh, I'm not going to do the team. I'm going to have more of a social senior year. I still did the dance team, but not the competition team. And I watched that team every time during like a basketball game or during a football team game. And they were so good. A bunch of new girls came on the team and they were really good and they were all really close friends. And the thing is, that's not that big of a deal, but it was the lesson that what I did in that moment was I settled and I learned to really lower my expectations of myself and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I won't do the team. And then I didn't audition for college. I just started being less ambitious from that moment because I felt like she didn't believe in me. And if I could have just shifted my mindset right there and been like, yeah, you know what? I'm so sorry that I haven't been giving you that right energy, but I really do want to do it.
It takes a couple of days to, you know, when something happens and you don't know how to react on it and you go home and you replay it. And I should have said this and I should have done that. We have that in life a lot.
What I should have done is taken the thread of truth in it.
Yeah.
And held it and said, you know what? You're right. I'm sure you're thinking, why would I want to be on the team since I've had a bad attitude, but I really want to be on the team. And just been humble and honest.
And you can do that even 2 days later.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're scared of, because we get so in shock of something that happened. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And I should have said this and I should have. But it doesn't always have to be negative. You don't have to go back and you. It's not about that. It's about going back and saying, I see your point. I see why you reacted like this and why you're saying this. Yeah. And I take my blame, but I don't want to regret it for the rest of my life, not fixing it. So I'm here to fix this. So if you could go back in time, you go back to that moment?
I'd go back to that moment, not to be on the team, but to practice that lesson of being humble and just owning up to it and just looking. That was a perfect opportunity to look in the mirror and look at myself and say, hey, girl, it's time to grow up. It's time to change.
Yeah.
And this like shell that you put on and have that problem with authority, it's not doing you any good.
No. Wow. Okay, I like that.
Okay, and how about you? If you could turn back time.
It's always so depressing, mine, because I would go back to save my mom.
Yeah.
I think. But the thing is that the big reason of who I am today is because of that traumatic event in my life. Mm-hmm. And it changed me to who I am today, and I'm super happy for who I am today. Yeah. I have no regrets. I think this is exactly the life, but it started because of the realization, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be this after what happened to my mom. So I kind of want the knowledge that I have today to go back in time, because I don't want to go back in time and be the same person I was that moment.
Something might not have changed.
Yeah. So going back in time with the knowledge that I have today, because if you would go back in time to that moment, not knowing everything that happened after that moment, you probably react the same way.
And I had a great senior year, and I was social, and of course,
but I would go back because I was just a young boy.
Yeah.
I was 19, which is...
It's Dane in 3 years.
Yeah.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
It's young.
You are a boy.
Yeah.
You think you're an adult, but you're actually a boy, but you're not adult enough to see your mom as somebody that you can take care of.
Yeah.
It's still the role of mom is taking care of me, and it's me, and you think you're an adult, but your parents will always be there, somebody to count on, instead of the other way around, where your parents can count on you.
Yeah.
And where that shift happens is a different age for everybody. But it's very difficult, and I think maybe it's something that everybody at home can think about. The people that I used to count on, can they really count on me?
Yeah.
Because we think it's for granted that these people are my family and these are my parents and I should be able to count on them, but is it the other way around as well? So I would want to go back in time and let them know or her know that I'm the one who's going to take care of you now, or you can count on me now.
Yeah.
But I was just a young.
But there's so many, it's like the butterfly effect. And there are certain, these pivotal moments in your life, and sometimes you just need to stop and take a moment and try and see the future of how that one turn will affect your entire direction.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me when Brian and I were very young married. We were married for like 3 years at that time. We've been married for almost 17 now.
Wow.
And he said, you want to be very careful about the tiny little shifts.
Yeah.
He said, because if you are both going in a direction, but somebody shifts just a hair over the course of, especially like you look at a marriage and you think, oh my gosh, how did we grow so far apart? It's that tiny little shift. How did I become this negative, unhappy person? Yeah. It's that tiny little shift. And the thing is, it can absolutely go the opposite direction. You can say, wow, look at me 5 years ago. I'm so much happier now. I feel so much more accomplished and proud of myself. I feel so much more empowered. Yeah. It's the tiny daily shifts of changing your perspective to see things as life is working for you, not against you. Yeah. And when life is working for you, which everybody's life is working for them, if you take those learning lessons and grow from them, if you look for opportunities to learn and to grow and to pay it forward, life is working for you. And 5 years from now, you could say, wow, I started to do tiny little perspective changes, and I feel so much more relief and happiness in my life.
So this could be a task, because we're talking about perspective versus reality. So when people have those moments in life that they go, every time when I see or feel that, it just makes my whole day bad.
Yeah.
You don't have to change it, but maybe shift a little bit. Say, you know what? Every time that happens, I'm not going to bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to say, or give it a negative reaction. Start with that. Or that one person that's giving me always the bad attitude. What about you? Just change a little shift by always smiling and saying hi to them. Yeah. And you won't see a big impact. But like you say, it's just that little shift. A long time later, could be a week, could be a month, could be a year, you will see a huge difference. And so what are the small shifts that you can do in life that will have a big result in 1 month?
So the thing, everybody has heard that perspective is reality, but when you really think about it, there's a great podcast I listened to from a life coach, and she says all circumstances are actually neutral.
Yeah,
and it's your emotion that you attach to it, whether it makes it a negative, a positive, but truly, all circumstances are actually neutral. It's what you think it means. It's what you think will happen. It's what you think that will become.
Of course.
So these really kind of look at your day from the morning. I mean, your child throwing a tantrum in the store, that's just a circumstance. It's neutral. It doesn't have to make you have that butterfly effect and having it ruin your entire day.
It's like the movie scene that is for 2 minutes. You pick out a movie, but you put the sound off.
Yeah.
People have never seen the movie. And then you ask them, what did you see? And everybody will have a completely different story.
Yeah.
And then you can put music on it, a horror movie or a happy music, and it will change the story completely. So we want you to think about it today, actually. What are the small shifts that I can make today to have a bigger impact on the long term? What are the things that always trigger me to see something in a negative way? Or what about that person that is always mad at me? Is it really true, or is it your perspective? Maybe you should go up to her and start smiling, or say hi, or actually talk to them and say, what's your name? Have a conversation. And you will see that reality might be completely different than your perspective.
Yeah, or how about just not let it bother you, because it doesn't need to.
No.
Let that person be grumpy.
And
you don't have to just stay neutral. You don't have to let it bother you. You don't have to let it get under your skin.
Totally.
So thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome.
We're waving at the camera because now we can do that. Because first of all, if you want, please rate us. Go give us 5 stars.
Absolutely.
Because 4 or less than that, we don't care about
It's
those.
a 0.
So let people know about our podcast, rate us, and we'll keep you posted about the fantastic news that is coming up. And
by the
see
way,
you
my
soon.
mom needs us to show her how to rate. She keeps texting me, here's another podcast that I listen to, and I don't know how to give you that 5-star rating.
Okay, perfect. Big kiss to you all.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.